Hello, my front-end friend, and welcome to a video where we're going to be doing something fun. This is my new redesigned website, and I've been doing lots of fun CSS stuff with it. I've taken stuff from my videos, like this button effect, my toggle here for the light dark that uses a view transition, and a few other things. But you can see here I have the sticky nav that I've been working on that's not perfect. I need to improve on it. I have this fun hover effect as well that I think is kind of neat coming in that. Yeah, anyway, they look good. And this was kind of broken at this point. But then I'm like, wait, most things I'm doing on here are using CSS only. Basically, everything else that I showed you is CSS only. The view transition does require a little bit of JavaScript in there. But the sticky nav, I was using some JavaScript for it. So let's go take a look quickly at it. This is an Astro component. So if we look here, there's like the media stuff coming in, and I'm just adding like a sticky to it once we scroll past 200 pixels. So if we go past, it sticks. I need to improve that breakpoint clearly because I do not like the toggle being where it is. But you get the idea. We scroll past a certain point and it sticks and then it unsticks. And I'm like, why am I using JavaScript for this? And not only should I fix this, I should fix it in public and do this with CSS only. It will be a progressive enhancement. Most things here are progressive enhancements, which is completely fine. I think that's a good way to approach things, especially on personal websites. And I have to decide whether I want to do it the sort of well-supported way or the probably better and easier way that is less well-supported. And I'll probably talk about both of them. So just so you can choose what you'd want to do if you want to do one of these in your projects. So here's my header where I put fixed. I didn't want it. I guess sticky would have worked. But we're going to take this off. Position will be sticky instead, which should mean it just sticks. Perfect. The header, so we can take all of this off, the is sticky stuff. I had to do some other stuff in here just to get everything else working properly within that. We're not going to worry about any of that. We're just saying my header is always sticky and always has those styles on it. Now that's not what I want, obviously. And for some reason, should have a space. There we go. Okay. So I only want a lot of these styles applied. I added some padding there. It looks a bit better. We'll stay with it like this for now until I fix the styling on it. I don't want it to always be like this. I think it's kind of, I don't mind it always being sticky. But I like the idea of it scrolling off, coming in, just having fun with CSS on this. So I have this as my header and then my page header, which is kind of weird. I was mucking around a little bit with this to actually get it to work, but you can see I just have my header element. And then I have the page header, which is, and my layout, which is a bit different. And then the page header, I probably could clean this up a little bit. This is part of like experimentation, playing around with getting things to work, especially with like the anchor positioning and stuff that I was using for this that I had to muck around with a little bit. But it makes it easy because I guess the name here, page header, isn't quite real, but whatever. I'm not going to stress too much about it. So the main thing, I'm just trying to think. What we want to do is this is going to stick. I think all of this can stay on there, but I don't need the animation. We might use an animation later. Let's come in with that. I don't know if I need this here. I guess so. That's just preventing it from being the same size, like my margins. Okay, we're going to keep some of this on there. What we're going to do, this is going to stick. So we're going to make this at the same time. This is the less well supported, then we'll probably switch it after. I'll give you a quick rundown on a different way we can do it. But we're going to make this a container type of scroll state. And I haven't done this a lot. I wasn't even sure if I'd remember that off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that's correct, which is a new type of container that we can do. It allows us to do 3 different types of things. We can look for if things are stuck, so sticky. You can also look if things are scrollable or not, and in which direction they're scrollable, which is cool. And there's a third thing that you can do too, that I forget. I think it's if you have scroll snapping. If it's snapped, that's it, stuck, snapped, or if it's scrollable or not. Now, it is a container type, so it does mean I have to have that on the thing that has position sticky, and then I can't style this if it's stuck or not. I can only style the children. So having this separate makes it work. If they were together, I wouldn't be able to do this. So luckily I already did that and I don't have to do a big refactor now. It just made it easier even when I was using JavaScript to have it set up this way. So what we're going to do here then is say at container scroll state stuck top. And we're going to grab all of this and put it inside that container scroll state. And if I get to the top, it's still applying. That is saved. Let's go look at my styles. So are we stuck because we're at the top? Apparently. Let's say bottom, just to see if this actually turns things off. Okay, that did turn it off. Ah, that's kind of interesting. I didn't think we would be stuck at the top until I started scrolling. So let us see. Why is it? I thought we would only get stuck once I scrolled a little bit. What if I change, just for fun, position? Oh, I didn't put a top 0 here. Maybe that would, no, that didn't. Let's say top like 20 V, would VH work here? Top of 300 pixels. What? Wait a second, I must have, that's my skip to main. Is there something else that's causing, oh, I have an inset. Okay. The top value will now be 200 pixels. Okay, this is actually okay. We're going to say negative 200 pixels. Ah, this is what I wanted anyway. I'm going to have to figure that out. But I guess because the element's at the top, it's considered stuck immediately, which is kind of interesting. But this is what I wanted to do anyway. And maybe what I would do is like scroll until scroll distance slide back in will be 200 pixels, which is obviously way more verbose than what we had, but it just makes it a bit, you know, if I come back to this in the future, I can quite easily understand what's actually happening. Except that should be negative 200, or I could do calc or whatever. I want it to go off by 200. And then once we pass that point, it's going to slide in. So that means here we're going to do a translate of 200 pixels. Or is it going to be 400? 0, 0, because we're doing X. I'm moving it sideways right now. Ah, there it is. It was 200. Okay. So once we go past 200 pixels, it comes back in. Now it's you can see it's glitching right now. So that's not good. Why is it glitching like that? I'm not 100% sure. I seem to have an opacity weird change coming on there, but that should be okay because right now I'm translating. It's like instantly coming down anyway. What I would want to do is also transition that. So transition my translate 500 milliseconds. I don't know how long I want to do that for. This is a lot easier than I thought it'd be, by the way. So I'm going to scroll down. It's going to get stuck and then it's going to slide back in. Neat, right? Like that, this is already working just as well. And I could, I guess, slow this down, like control the speed of that animation. Ah, that's nicer. Now, I thought it would translate the other way. Okay, so the reason it's not translating the other way is because we're only translating, or transitioning, I should say, once we get stuck. So here, I would just do the transition all the time. And that should mean when I scroll up, it also, oh, actually, that's kind of cool. And we go up, and it's sort of, depending on how fast you're scrolling. Let's just try on another page. This was much easier than I expected it to be, I won't lie. I thought this was going to take me longer to do. Oh, that's, I'm so happy with this. Okay, nice. This is, yeah, that works just incredibly well. And then it just, okay, I'm super happy. That's fantastic. The one thing that I said is we could improve the browser support for this. So improving browser support for this would, instead of using a scroll, let's see, what can I use? Scroll state. I don't even know what we're at here. So it's 71%, which is just Chrome. We go figure. Only 57% in the US. You can see how many people use iPhones in the US. So if I want more people to be able to experience it, we could, instead of using a scroll state, we could use a scroll view animation timeline, which would, wow, really? Okay, is it worth, so that's at, so we have like 10% more in the US, but that's at 78, and we were at what, 71 on the other one, animation timeline, and the other one was scroll state, 71. It's not as big of a difference as I thought it would be, honestly. Especially because I knew Safari was supporting it. I guess it's because it's so new, the support for Safari. It is making a big jump in the US, though. That's really interesting. Okay. We're going to do it anyway, just so this is just so easy though, right? The way I did it is incredible and no JavaScript at all. Like, you're just saying, when it sticks, do stuff. So I'm going to probably leave this as the final implementation, but let's just see if we can get it working. I have done a more detailed video on this, so I'll probably link it in the description, but say we said, so the container type we wouldn't need either. And we would do this would all actually stay the same. We want it to be a position sticky, and then we want it to go 200 off the top. And then the page header, we would do, and we don't need the transition on there anyway, but it's not going to cause any problems. I would do an animation of slide nav in, I'm going to say slide nav in. I don't think I have another one. And actually, I've been naming my animations with double hyphens in front of them, because anything I custom name now, I'm doing that. I'll thank Roma for that suggestion. Animation will be slide in both, so it's forwards and backwards. And then we're going to say animation timeline will be view. Is it view? No. The animation timeline will be scroll, because we're just basing it on the entire viewport. And then the animation, do they have it in here? Range, that's what I wanted. Range start, I guess, is going to be the 200 pixels. So once we've scrolled 200 pixels, and then we can just copy this. Let's see if this works. At keyframes of slide nav in, 100% will be that. I don't know if this is actually going to work. I feel like I'm missing something, which I am. Let's go and inspect. Inset is, okay, that's okay. Let's just scroll down a bit and, oh, I don't see anything in my elements panel, which is kind of weird. Let's close the DevTools and open them again. Okay, that was interesting. Let's find my page header. This is there. So once I've scrolled 200 pixels, that should start. Let's take off the animation range. Oh, aha, aha, aha. Look at that. So there, that's actually working. Oh, wait. Animation range. Oh, okay. Animation range. I know what I did wrong. Animation range start. We want to start after I've scrolled 200 pixels. This is where it's different, is you have to decide like how the length of the animation is based on the scroll position. So animation, and this is where I might get them wrong. Animation range end. Let's just try 300 pixels, but I might need to switch those around. Oh, it's actually working. It's a bit different because it like grows down. I think I could put a 0%. This could actually be, let's do a 100%, 10%, 100%. I think would actually work, or even like a 1%, because we're only starting the animation once we've gone down 200 pixels. So it's going to come off, instantly change, and then just be in this finished state here. Now I see it glitching a bit. So maybe that 1%, that's doing a bit too much right there. A little emergency there I had to take care of, so I'm a bit lost on where I was. But let's just go take a look. Okay, so it's happening too quickly. Let's just try this at 10% like I had before, but maybe just that 100 pixel range is a bit too... Let's just put this at 4. I've completely broken it by doing that. Okay, I thought... What if we did, just for fun, 0% translate of 0, 0. Oh, right, because now it's like, it's going super quickly. It's going super quickly on the translate. So maybe what I could do, why is the size, because the padding is changing. Maybe. Oh, this should also be 0%. That would probably help, but I don't think that's going to change anything. So I can see, so from 0%, the padding should be that. The border radius should already be there. The background should already be there. The only thing that probably changes is the translate, the position relative, all those things. I think there, that makes it a bit more. So the animation starts, everything's set, and the only thing then we're translating it down. So not doing a grow and shrink, which you might want. So, you know, there's different options, which is kind of an interesting thing that we can do with this version of it instead of the other one. But now it's very based on, like, you can, if I stop at the wrong spot, it's like halfway there. So that depends. It's, you know, people will just scroll a little bit more. I think the scroll stuck is a better solution. It was a little bit easier than having to create this weird animation, but slightly better browser support. So maybe I'll stick with this one and use an @supports or something to like have both options. I'm not sure if it's worth it. I'll probably just do the scroll position stuck. But yeah, CSS is amazing these days. As I said, I did a bunch of fun stuff on the site. I have the toggle that I need to fix because it used to come out of the button. It's not doing that anymore. I have the button effect, or I have this. If you want to know how to do that, actually, I'll put a video now. It's not the exact effect I have, but it uses the same technique. I'll put a video to links to all the stuff that I have in here. And if there's other things in the site that I haven't covered that you find along the way that you'd like to see a video on, just leave a comment down below and let me know. And with that, I would like to thank my enabler of Awesome Johnny, as well as all my other patrons and channel members for their monthly support. And of course, until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.